Alright, today we're going to do a simple watercolor crayon abstract. So here I'm mixing up the watercolors, adding water to them. Notice I separate my palette. I try to keep my reds, blues, and yellows together. The other areas on the palette are for mixing your primary colors into your secondary colors. Mixing it, getting it to the consistency that you like. And now we're starting on just the background. I had put down white crayon before, so there's going to be some marks that will show through. And you're just putting a wash on the background. You can add some different colors, mix a little bit. Keep in mind your color schemes, and don't worry too much about this part. Most of it's going to get covered up, but it's just creating a nice little background so that you're not working on the white paper and really getting those white crayon marks to show through at this point. So those will start to emerge there. Alright, now we're going to add watercolor straight to the piece. We're going to paint on a few designs, and really you're going to fill the whole page with these little designs. I mean, random, you can work off of, I like to work off of the white crayon marks that are underneath. So I'll kind of put some loose watercolor lines, kind of framing those or working with the white crayon marks that are showing through. Again, keep in mind your color schemes, colors that work well together, warm, cool colors, complementary. Filled it all up. Okay, this is optional here. If you want to, you can add some salt to the areas, kind of create a different effect. And you could have did this on the wash too if you would like. I decided to add a little bit just to the marks I made, just to show you guys kind of what that's going to do. So the page is filled with just your watercolor marks over top of your wash, working with those white crayon, adding a little salt to some areas. They'll give it a little bit of texture in there. You can already see some of the salt pieces starting to soak up some of that watercolor there. And then you're going to let that dry. When it's dry, you can brush off the salt and start on the next step. So after you have everything dried up, you can start adding your crayon marks in. You're basically going to fill the page with different shapes, marks, colors. I wanted to go from more of a warm color in the top left-hand corner down to more cooler colors. And again, you're working off of the same things you were before. You're working off of your white crayon marks, and you're working off of your watercolor marks that you put on there. And I just did really simple things. I outlined, I added lines, I added some fun shapes, but you're going to fill the whole page with this. And don't worry about making it objective. This is all about having a non-objective piece. It is an abstract. This is your simple abstract here. Add different colors in. Alright, speed this up a little bit here. So, just filling in the whole page, different colors. You can leave some of the background showing through, some of that nice wash, but you don't want to leave any really large areas because it's going to show through between the marks you're making. So we're just finishing up, filling everything in here, adding some marks. I mean, this is a pretty quick lesson, but gets you into the mood of abstract, gets you starting to think more non-objective, and really just gets your hands on the media. So here's our finished piece. Have a lot of detail going on in there. When you're done, you can take your tape off the edges. I taped it down, wanted to leave about an inch, nice frame. I also like to leave the ripped edges here, as you can see. I like the way that looks. You can choose to cut those off if you'd like. But here's our finished piece. A watercolor crayon abstract. It's upside down here. And it's ready to be framed or varnished.